Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the United Club podcast. It's been a while, hasn't it? But we're back in some quite dramatic fashion after that PSG result. I've got to say, we're both absolutely ecstatic, and we're really looking forward to telling you about our thoughts on the game. And of course, you can get involved in the comments, and I'll post some highlights on Instagram maybe, and we'll get some interaction from you guys as well because, well, I've already seen plenty of it on my feed, but aren't we all just absolutely well? There's no better word than gassed, is there? We're all so excited about this. Anyway, let's have a look at their performance because, I mean, you don't really know where to start because there were so many outstanding displays. But I think the easiest place probably David De Gea. I mean, he looks back to his best now, doesn't he?
What a game. Everything that was coming at him, save, save, save. A few heart attacks though in that game, especially the first one I remember, first half, I went down to get a drink and all of a sudden I look at my phone and see four David De Gea saves within a couple of minutes. It's like, what has just
Oh,
happened? And then I come back and then see that Mbappe shot where he never catches things, but he always makes the flashy
I,
save.
well, no, the thing with him is right that he doesn't catch it all the time, but he's actually really good at like parrying it into safety. Like he's unlike Bernd Leno at Arsenal, where he's really good at making saves, but he can sometimes parry it back into the danger area. I think that's what makes a goalkeeper world class. And De Gea, through all his bad form, actually didn't really lose that. He knows where to parry the ball. But I'm no goalkeeping expert. Another thing as well, I think. Do you think bringing back Henderson's had a positive impact on him, even though Henderson hasn't played?
Definitely. And you can even see the chemistry in training. It's competition, but it's
Mm,
healthy competition if you
healthy,
if you
yeah.
see they're both happy training together as you can see, and they're both top goalkeepers, so obviously they're going to make each other better.
And he's unorthodox, but I think it actually does work. I mean, I just feel bad for Romero, but that's another conversation for another time. We just beat PSG 2-1. Wan-Bissaka, you've got to talk about him after the scandals that have happened this week. What's your thoughts on all of that? I mean,
We After the performance, we can ignore the scandals, can't we? Because with Wan-Bissaka, there was the two things we were going to go into tonight. Either he'd get skinned by Neymar and Mbappe, or he'd put that performance, and that's back to his best. That's why
yeah,
Wan-Bissaka was almost our Player of the Year last year, and people are quick to forget that, aren't they?
they are. And he was out of form. He was overplayed. He's only young still. He's not played
Hmm.
much football, and I've got to say, when he opens his pockets up tonight, when he gets home, he's gonna find Kylian Mbappe and Neymar on each side. Like I think
Did,
he was finished.
did you see PSG keep trying to switch sides to get away from him, but they had to keep coming
Yeah,
back?
just running away from Aaron. I mean, that's a bit like. Well, I don't want to dive into the scandal, but that girl. I could use many unholy words to describe her. Who the one who baited him out. She posted PSG's like pre-match post on her story, and then Wan-Bissaka goes and puts a phenomenal display, and I'm so happy for him, man. I'm so happy for him. Who's next? Who should talk about next?
Tuanzebe,
Tuanzebe.
best
He's
centre back at the club.
well, I mean, I don't want to say it, but without Maguire, we did look very good defensively. I mean,
Hmm.
it's nothing against Maguire. I don't have any problem with Maguire. Well, I've got a little bit of a problem with him, but I don't have a major problem with Maguire. And I think that Tuanzebe was excellent tonight. On the other hand, so
The five back helped though, having the
oh, of course
structure,
it did.
and with a proper attacking fullback, you can see the difference.
Tellez, oh, phenomenal. We'll get on to him later. I'm all about Tuanzebe. I mean, his turn of pace is something else, different gravy, mate. He caught up with Mbappe. He stopped him before he got in his way, shoved him off the ball, used his strength and pace, absolute beast. And his passing was excellent as well. Is that long ball he did over to Tellez, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naturally, we move on to him next. What a debut! What a debut!
The delivery from the corners was the thing everyone was talking about. You'd
Mm,
think that a few times he'd hit the first man, stray ball, but no, every time on McTominay, nearly a goal. But
straight on his head.
uh,
I've got to say, I think we've been like Luke. Let's not talk about Luke Shaw, but I don't think we've had a fullback, a left back who can cross at Man United for years, and it's
mhm,
finally Tellez has finally arrived,
yeah,
and nothing against Shaw as I say, but whew, he's got a ball on him, hasn't he?
yeah, it's just you can just tell the difference. And I think Shaw was even more comfortable in that back five at left centre back
He's good
because
there.
yeah, because his best traits as a left back is defensive ability. And you could even see today when he was going forward, he wasn't. Did you see that part where Pogba was making the run, but he didn't see the pass?
Yeah, yeah,
Second
yeah.
half. I
He
think,
kept them
yeah,
going
that
himself.
that just shows that he doesn't have the attacking intelligence of Tellez, but together it just opens up a whole new tactic for us to use. And for those people who are saying Ollie doesn't have any tactics, that game just shows that he does, doesn't it?
I mean, Solskjaer outclassed Tuchel today.
Hmm.
Whatever you think about Solskjaer, whether you like him or not, you got to look at it. And even the switch to the back four when he brought Pogba on for Tellez, he knew exactly what he was doing, and it worked. And I'll tell you now, we might have scored late, but we totally deserved that win, didn't we?
100%, 100%.
Yeah. Fred, I gave 10 out of 10. I said on my story, I got very excited about him. He was superb today, wasn't he?
Everywhere. Passing, good. Defensively, good. Going forward, everywhere. He was. You could notice him and McTominay were just annoying Neymar that whole game.
McTominay is living rent free in Neymar's head, mate. Honestly, that guy. I mean, people can say what they want about his performance. He was all over Neymar. He was fouling him, kicking him, telling him who's boss. It got to the end of it. Neymar was just giving up. He was just conceding possession to McTominay and Fred. Like, he didn't really care. And I'm delighted about that because I don't like the fella. Phenomenal footballer though. I think he, at times has been the best player in the world recently, but I don't like him. Who next? I mean, Bruno Fernandes, captain. One game as captain, one game won as captain. He'd be delighted at that, wouldn't he?
What I liked about him was, that the penalty, Navas guesses the right way, takes it again, goes the exact same way, exact same technique. It's just his arrogance, isn't it? And that's what
Just
people
classic
hate.
Bruno.
That's what people hate about him, that he's
Yeah.
willing to do that. And I guess Fernandes is back.
I mean, it's a cliche, but he's like Marmite, isn't he? You love him or you hate him. And I'm telling you now, we both love him. I mean, all of us love him, really. I mean, there's only a few United fans I know who don't like him, but he is just something else. And I'm telling you now, he's talismanic. He's a leader. He's got loads of ability on the ball. Yes, some of his decisions today weren't great when he got tired, but his stamina is super. He'll run all day. He will run all day, and he will always work hard for the team. And that's something that I think, if you combine all of his attributes, that's something that makes him such a lovable guy. Like, he's Mr. Manchester United. I mean, the real Mr. Manchester United is Marcus Rashford. And
Dr. Marcus Rashford at MBE, you mean?
Oh yeah, mayor of Paris as well. Let's not forget that part.
One thing good about Rashford is you can clearly see he's developing. Even if he doesn't play well for half the game, goal or assist on the sheet.
It's Brit Bruno-esque, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, that finish. Just how mad did you go? I mean, I obviously didn't watch the game with you, but what was your reaction? I went nuts.
Stayed cool.
Stayed cool.
Mm-hmm.
How? I literally don't think I've gone like madder at a game of football, because that was just sensational. It was, for me, like, the fact that we deserved it so much made it so satisfying. When that goal went in, it was like, yes, this is what we deserved. This is what Manchester United needed out of this game. This is what Manchester United got out of this game.
It's not a game that we really expected to win before, though, was it? Like, there was confidence late on when we heard that Verratti was out, Paredes was out, Marquinhos was out, which I guess is a bit lucky if you think about it, because that's not the best PSG side. That they're missing their best midfielders and their best defender. Yeah. So I think it will be a different game in Old Trafford. I think we'll have less of the ball, and they'll be, because we were just winning that midfield battle every time, weren't we? But Verratti's world class, and he'll be able to hold that midfield. And Marquinhos, he'd become the best centre back on the pitch, wouldn't he?
No, Tuanzebe, mate. Anyway, I don't want to worry about that game too much. They can take that game if they want, because I think we basically beat Leipzig, we beat Istanbul in the next couple of weeks, and we're through now. Because that would be 9 points already with 3 games to go. We'll at least get a point in one of those games, so we haven't got to worry too much about the reverse fixture anyway. The fact that we beat them tonight has set us up so nicely for the rest of the Champions League. And I mean, people joke all the time, but Man United could VAR their way to the Champions League final. You never know. Look, I think what was so good about tonight was the quality of the performance. Like, we totally deserved it. Our players, all of them, were superb. They all put a great performance in that they should all be really proud of, and they all worked so hard to get that result. It must feel so good for them, even better than it does for us. Like,
100%, especially after all they've been through the last few weeks with they've obviously been inconsistent, and they know more than anyone. Especially with a lot of the players in our team now compared to the previous years, most of them are fans of our team, and they'll do anything to win for the fans. So it must feel really good for them because they're obviously backing Ole. They're not down toolsing or anything. You can see that by the Newcastle game and by tonight. So to prove everyone wrong and to go out there and get the result must feel better for them than it does for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one player who could probably come out of tonight thinking, "Oh, I'm not too sure about it," is Anthony Martial. What do you think about him tonight?
He's a good player. He's probably my favourite player at the club, but tonight just wasn't it, was it? That own goal, every time he was getting forward, he was ballooning it over, or he was just losing it to that Diallo guy at
Oh,
centre back.
well, he won the penalty though, doesn't he? You can't forget that.
He did, but it's not a Martial performance. It's not what we know he can do. He usually is good at taking on a man, but it just didn't seem to come off for him tonight, and that own goal just personified his performance, didn't it?
No, I don't know. I think his hold up was all right. I think he. I don't think he. The thing is, I don't think he obviously didn't have the best performance by his standards, and he hasn't this season really kicked off yet. But he did win the penalty, and that was I don't know. For me, his hold up was actually quite good. I think he often rolled the man. He was playing much more physical than sort of like that silky Martial that we all know and love. He wasn't really gliding through players. He was rather using his strength and frame to assert his dominance. And again, yes, as you say, he got shoved off it by Diallo a few times. Diallo was able to take it off his feet a couple of times, and he wasn't. Nothing was coming. Not everything was coming off for him, but I don't think he was too bad. And a lot of people making out in my comments on the ratings, "Oh, 6 is too nice." I think 6 is about right for him.
I don't know if you know what I mean, but at times it looked like he was trying too hard to take on the man, trying too hard to get off the shot instead of playing the simple ball, which I guess is good for Martial because a lot of the time people wrongly call him lazy. But then,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he's had so many good performances. We can let this one off.
I mean, he worked really, really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that he was, for God's sake, I literally. I'm going to have to edit it now. I'm not going to put it up tonight. We're back. I'm terribly sorry about that interruption. It was rather funny though, so we decided to keep it in there. I'd like to apologise to our Spotify listeners for the interruption. If you're watching on YouTube, you will obviously know exactly what happened. But yeah, I think we were talking about Anthony Martial. It is now the day after recording that we've come back and finished this off, unfortunately. But I guess you still get to see our instant reaction. We just wanted to go and talk about the Chelsea game following that, because obviously Martial's not going to play there. Would you start Edinson Cavani against Chelsea is a big question. Would you start him?
Yes, 100%. We have to, because we can't. I wouldn't play Ighalo and James. And Cavani is obviously a player that knows what the big games are. He's a clinical goal scorer, and he's someone I think we have to learn to trust. Even if many people didn't agree with the signing at the time, we all wanted Sancho as our number 7, obviously. Seeing Cavani as number 7 at the time wasn't a very pleasant sight. But I mean, now we just have to back him, and I think he is a good player, so I would start him.
Oh, he's a top player. You look at what he's won in his career. You look at the sort of caliber of player that he's been. He's always been a significant number 9 in world football, and he's always been regarded as one of the best strikers around. And yeah, maybe he's getting on a little bit now, but he's going to be a great player for Man United. One thing I'm not sure about now is who do we play against Chelsea? I mean, I'm thinking, do we play a 5-back? Do we play a diamond in midfield, which I'm thinking could be a good idea. I mean, a diamond?
I think we stick with the 5-back because I think Chelsea are a team that are quite similar to PSG in terms of they've got a very good attack. Although they haven't all really gelled together yet, they're very dangerous, as we've seen. Werner, very good player, although he hasn't kicked off yet. You saw what he could do in the last game. And I feel like their defence is still their weaker area. So I think this formation of the 5 at the back would probably be best against them.
I just hope Greenwood's fit, because, well, you said about Cavani, but imagine if we had Greenwood against PSG last night. I mean, he would have been having a field day of all the chances that we had. He is more clinical than both Martial and Rashford, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, Cavani up with Rashford then, do you think?
Yeah, I just hope for Greenwood that he's not in any trouble and it is actually an injury, because there have been the rumours going around And I don't think we'd hear about it if it was anything off the pitch, because as we've seen, Greenwood's father didn't even want him to do interviews. So I think he's very well protected by the club, especially when he's not at international duty. They will do
Yeah.
everything to stop any rumours getting out about him. So I just hope it's not anything disciplinary.
Yeah, because I guess when he was international, there was nothing the club could do about it.
Mm.
Whereas obviously now they can do something to stop the rumours getting out, and they won't want the rumours to be out. So I will see where that goes. I hope he's all right, because he is a top player, top potential, and if it transpires he is in a bit of disciplinary, you know, provocations, then it's not a good look for him, and he needs to make sure he's, you know, continuing to play at his best level. We need him back. We need him back. More importantly, he's a great player for this team. Uh, yeah, PSG, superb win. Chelsea coming up now, big few games. How are we going to do against Chelsea and Arsenal? 6 points?
6 points. No questions asked. Arsenal.
Oh,
Arsenal. You look at them. They're not. They've got a very good manager. We both agree on that. We
oh
both
yeah,
think Mikel is class.
yeah.
But in terms of their team, they're just nowhere near the rest of the top six. In
They're
terms of
nowhere near us.
no, in terms of quality, nowhere near.
I mean, we'll see how Thomas Partey works, but I don't want to talk about Arsenal. We can look into that after. We're gonna have some Arsenal fans coming on the podcast before the game, you know, to get a bit of tension maybe. But
A lot of tension.
it'll be quite a lot. Yeah, we have a very bitter rivalry, Man United fans and Arsenal fans, even if the clubs themselves aren't. You know what I mean? Like, there's that online sort of rivalry, because at recent times we've both been at a similar sort of level, which is really sad to see, to be honest. And I hope now we can transcend them and really show them who's boss. Anyway, we've got Chelsea to focus on first. We've got Leipzig in the middle as well. It's a tough set of games coming up, but can Solskjaer win all of them? I think he can.
The last time we said guaranteed 3 points on this podcast, we got battered 6-1 to Spurs. So
Oh no, we've cursed it, haven't we?
yeah.
Well, look, at least we've acknowledged the curse before anyone else has, so at least we might be able to do something to stop it. No, okay. Realistically, I think we have got a chance against Chelsea. We have got a chance, a very good chance. I don't rate Lampard as a manager.
No, he's not good enough. And just people are easy to go at Ollie. But I think, I don't want to say it like this, but because of, with Maguire, the press and media are better towards him because of him being English.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just more harsh on Ollie because he's not one of our own in that sense from the UK. But
Yeah,
and
I
I
see
feel like
exactly
that.
what
I
you
feel
mean.
like that's always been there though. And I feel like they're always going to be more harsh on him because he's not that charismatic country sweetheart that's been in the in midfields for England. So
Yeah, Frank Lampard will always get a free pass in the media, won't he? And at the end of the day, if he's not successful this season, then Chelsea. Oh, well, I'm not here to talk for Chelsea fans, but surely they've got to ask a few questions about him, because he spent a lot of money. And if we're questioning Solskjaer, I don't think Lampard could ever pull off a performance like we did last night. The tactics were spot on. He nailed everything. You know, as you say, the bringing on Pogba, the switch to the diamond, the nerve to bench Pogba, playing the five at the back, knowing when it was time to do that. You know, the way he utilised Alex Telles. Superb tactical performance to himself, and a lot of people don't rate him. I personally think he's a decent manager, and he just needs to develop that consistency now. And if he
he's
can approach
obviously not there yet, though. He's obviously not there yet. We
oh
can see
no,
that, but I feel like everyone is way too harsh on him. And the people are easy to go from Ollie in to Ollie out, and I get how that can be a thing because when we
flip
lose,
flop.
no, but it's not really though, because when we lose to people like Palace and we lose to Spurs 6-1, you can see their argument for why Ollie it should go. But then I feel like it's just too reactionary to keep changing. We just have to stick by one and remember the real problem is the board.
Yeah, exactly. I said that at the start of the season. Don't turn on the manager, even if the manager is a problem. If you, in your opinion, everybody shares a common view, I think, that the board is the biggest problem at this football club. And I don't want to talk about problems now anyway. We can be negative, but we just beat PSG. We smashed them at the Parc des Princes. Rashford was incredible. Our defence was superb. Wan-Bissaka answered his critics and put in a great performance after his tough week on social media. Tuanzebe comes back and is an absolute beast and pockets Mbappe. And I'm telling you now, he's going to have to make a little bit more room in that pocket for Timo Werner next week. And I'm so pleased with the performance. Solskjaer was superb. The players were superb. Bruno Fernandes, excellent performance as captain. We're just happy, man. We're happy.
Before we go, quick shout out to Dortmund. Not everyone can win on the first game of the Champions League.
Got battered, didn't they? 3-1
Hmm.
by Lazio. I mean, Jaden, if you're watching, which I know you're not, but let's say Jaden Sancho is watching, maybe he's listening on Spotify. Maybe, you're just getting off the bed in his Man United pajamas, put the United Club podcast on. You know what to do, mate. You know what
See
to
you in
do.
January, Jaden.
See you in January. Well, anyway, we'll see you, Jaden, in January, hopefully. But more importantly, we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for your time today. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Really appreciate that everyone was really determined to listen to this or watch it or however you're accessing this form of media. And as I say, very sorry for not being able to get it out last night. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. That's been us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.